Hi, everyone. Today in class, we had this conversation about whether you can go back and review and practice with really old homework. And when you log into MyLab and click on the homework screen, it appears that you cannot. Some homework assignments do not have an active hyperlink. They just show you this pop-up. If the assignment is still open for changing your score, meaning the deadline hasn't passed or the grace period hasn't passed, then there is a link and you can access practice there. However, you can actually access practice for all homework, including ones whose deadline and grace period have passed, but you have to do it through the gradebook. So if you click on gradebook, by default it will show you all assignments, but only for the past 2 weeks. If you change this for the entire course, it will show you your grades for all the assignments that you've worked on. And you had to have worked on them in order to see them here. Even for the older ones, like section 1.1, if you click on this thing, you can actually go back in problem by problem and see all the videos and any multimedia that may have come up for that section, but then also go back and work on problem by problem. It does give you this notice that you're only reviewing and that you're not going to affect your score, but this is indeed a mechanism to give you access to practicing old homework assignments. Now, that said, if you were only interested in finding the videos that were related to an old assignment, you can find that through the multimedia library link in the course menu. And here you can drill down to any chapter and any section. And any media type, you could just select all. You may not want the PowerPoints, but you might. And if you click Find Now, you'll find all the media that is available in our ebook for that section 3.2. So that might be one motivation that you might have gone back and looked for the old assignments. Another motivation is just practicing problems for the test. Now, I think it could get really overwhelming to practice all the old homework assignments when you're preparing for a test. So that's why there are 2 other tools available for you. At the end of each chunk of sections that make up a given test, for example, test 1 was chapters 1, 2, and 3. After homework for 1, 2, and 3, I create this mastery assignment. And what that mastery assignment is, it's indicated in the homework list in MyLab. You do get a grade for it. It's not optional, but what it does is select all the problems from chapters that it covers, in this case 1, 2, and 3, that you had trouble on when you did them. And it gives you access to more practice on those problems only. So that's a way to hone in on the things that gave you the most trouble. If you did really well on the homework on your first or second attempt on everything, then your mastery assignment might be relatively short. If you struggled some more on some problems, then it might be a little bit longer. So that's one tool, and that one's not optional. It is homework, and it is part of your course grade. Another tool is the practice test. So again, in homework, if you click on homework, or you can click on quizzes and tests, but if you click on homework, it's the same viewer, except by default it's filtered to homework. If you click on quizzes and tests or all assignments, you can see this is where your test was. That was your test back from chapters 1, 2, and 3. But it's also where your practice tests are. This diamond indicates that these practice tests are indicated as a test in MyLab, and that's why they show up in the list of quizzes and tests as opposed to the list of homework, which we were reviewing before. So it's easy to miss. This practice test looks just like the real test. It may have a few different problems, but it may be considerably longer. It's intended to be a tool on content and level of difficulty to help you assess whether you're ready for a test. It's not part of your course grade, so it's entirely optional, but you might consider using that in preparing for a test instead of, or in addition to, going back through all the old homework. It's up to you. So I wanted to show you those features, and these are different ways that you can access extra practice on MyLab. If you have any questions, of course, send me an email. Thanks.